Roadkill deer as beef substitute. William Hovey Smith, 2025. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And today we're going to be talking about salvaging road-killed deer. There is a definite need for more of that to go on by more people. We now have an enormous number of people displaced from their jobs. Meat prices, meaning beef prices, are now in my Kroger $11 a pound. Well, I can't pay $11 a pound for beef. So, when a deer appears dead on the side of the road during archery season, I am a licensed hunter. We may take 10 does in Georgia, and I'm going to put that meat in my freezer. Yeah, I am. Well, I'm 84 years old. I have health problems. I'm losing body mass, I'm losing body strength. I can't lift anymore. I could not load it in the back of my truck. I knew that. So I had some trash to go away, so I went to my nearest dumpster and emptied the trash I had. And lo and behold, another fellow was there. He had this great, big, huge truck, four-wheel drive and all, never ever been in the woods, I guarantee you. Probably never going to go. But, at any rate, I asked him would he give me a hand. And he said he would. And so we drafted him to throw the deer on the back of my truck. Okay, step one, load the deer. Got it back to my house. It is 88 degrees out there right now. The deer has been out there for I don't know how many hours. But how do I know it's still safe to eat? Well, several indications that this was a freshly killed deer. One, there was frothy blood coming out of the nostrils. Yeah. Two, the eyeballs were still clear. Three, buzzards hadn't found it yet or anything else. And four, it was not especially bloated. A little bit of bloat had started, but not much. All told, these are indications of a fresh deer. Plus, some of the legs were broken and you could see the meat itself. The meat hadn't turned black yet. It hadn't been oxidized. So, all right, even though it is hot, this is a fresh deer. Well, there are many parts of the country where you must hunt, if you're going to hunt at all, in high temperatures. Arizona's one, West Texas in many cases is one, Mexico many times of the year is one. So you might hunt in 70, 80, and even 90 degree weather, and I've done it, and killed deer. So this is no different from that. All right, we got it home. What do we do with it? I still cannot lift it. I don't dare dump it on the ground because I can't pick it up. So we clean it on the tailgate. Yeah. Cut the forelegs and rear legs off where they're broken. And then we go about and we take off the foreleg. And then we go about and we take off one of the rear legs, skinning as we go. I have large coolers that I take with me when I go on island hunts especially. They can hold 3 deer or more even, or a deer and a couple of hogs. And I have not used it all season, so it's been on the back porch and it's covered in a thick layer of dust, so I have to clean that inside and out. Put it out there by the tailgate. Got to have ice. Well, I have the forethought to keep 2 bags of ice in one of my chest freezers. Stay in there all the time. Never know when I might get a hog. So, we took the ice, put it in the freezer to cool it down, and put that one deer leg in it. Then we proceeded to do the same with the front leg and to cut that out. Then after we did the front leg and cut around the neck, skint back, skint down, so we could lift the hide over the back to expose the back straps. Good pieces of meat that. So cut along the spine, then roll the back straps forward, cutting as you go. Finally, the back straps lift out, one long piece, and you'll see it a little bit. And so you remove the back straps and put it back. Then, once you've got the rear leg, the front leg, and the back straps off, you've removed some weight from that carcass. It's still pretty heavy for me, but I did manage to turn it over, bring it forward, flip it over, so I could work on the other side and salvage the ham, the front quarter, and again the back straps. Put those in the cooler on the ice. All right. What to do with the deer? That deer was peculiar. It had patches of skin missing, and underneath those patches was something that looked more like bark scale than anything else I can describe. And there are pictures of these coming up. What is that? In all my years of deer hunting and shooting, God only knows how many deer, and seeing many more clean, I've never seen a deer hide that looked like that. I thought that perhaps that was caused by the impact, but it's not. This is something that's been on the deer for a long time. Call the DNR. And then, what's going on with this deer? Is it safe to eat? Well, the guy said, well, as near as he could tell from the way I described it, it was probably mange. Well, deer have mange. I know what mange looks like. This ain't mange, guys. I don't know what it is, but it ain't mange. So, I'm left with that quandary. In the meantime, I have a deer carcass on the back of my truck. I'm fortunate enough to have access to 400 acres of land. So I took it back in an isolated patch way away from the house so my dogs don't go back and find it, hopefully, and dumped it. So the buzzards will have their meal, and they're welcome to it. And came back, washed off the truck, and was exhausted by that time. The deer meat's in the cooler on ice. It's all right. It'll take me some time to get all my stuff together so I can clean. And so I took a nap, a few hours, got up. Now I returned. It's still full dark outside. And we're going to start processing that deer. I'm going to do two things with it. I'm going to cut some of it up for small roast. One guy, after all, so I don't need a huge roast cooked at once, a small roast. And the cuttings then will make deer sausage. Now, because of YouTube guidelines, I probably can't show you the entire thing. That's why you haven't seen the deer yet. I don't want this video knocked down because some people might be offended about seeing a bloody roadkill deer, which was somewhat messed up in the guts. But how did it smell? Okay. Yeah, I've shot deer and recovered them and had them smell far worse than this one did. So it wasn't that tough a job. Bloody, certainly not aesthetically pleasing. Perhaps shocking even to a few people. But, no, the smell was fine. So, that's where we are at the moment. We're about to bring some deer in the house. And here we have the back straps of our deer. Now this portion of it was damaged, so I'm not using that. And I'd like to give you some more resources. If you want to see the actual cleaning of the deer, we have 3 previous videos up, and these are the references to those. We have one titled Making Your Own Deer Sausage from 1921, which goes through the deer sausage making, which I will do with this deer in part. We also have CVA Hunter Takes Georgia Deer and What Happens Next, that I did in 1922. Now, that has much more detailed information concerning deer cutting, processing, and cleaning. Then we have another video, Backyard Deer Hunting Book Video from 2015. And this takes you step by step also through the cleaning of the deer. One more thing is the legal issues here. I do it the way I do it. Right now my hands don't have any cuts, so I can handle the deer meat safely with ungloved hands. If you had even a scratch on your hands, you need to wear gloves when you do this. 2, this is done at your own risk with your own deer. I cannot foresee what diseases deer may have, present or future, and I certainly cannot protect you against all hazards. So, you do this strictly at your own risk. Are these risks very great? Frankly, no. But there are some. Deer can carry tuberculosis, for example. That is transmittable, perhaps. There are other diseases like mad cow disease, or zombie deer, so-called. And yes, these may be transmissible, and perhaps they are. But this is at your risk. Okay, now we can continue. We can actually cut some deer. All right. We see one place here where there's a little damage. Here on the back it looks good. Now what I'm cutting against here is the so-called silver skin. And this you want to leave on because it actually protects the meat. And I'm cutting in small pieces. There's one guy. Yeah. Now this is going to go in deer sausage. It's a little oxidized here, so I'll cut that away. Dog meat in that corner. Friendly Ziploc bags here. Try to push all the air out. And we'll do the other exactly the same way. This is a shoulder. Now, significant things about it are right here. You see some blood. This is from a puncture from the lungs. But significantly, what you do not see here on this shoulder are any particles of food or guts or grains of anything. If you see that kind of product, then you need to cut that entire piece away and do it for dog meat, because those are intestinal contents that somehow have gotten this far forward on the animal. Usually they won't, but sometimes, yeah, if the hit was really strong, they will. Behind, in the lung cavity, there was still fresh blood on the animal itself. So, again, an indication of freshness. You may find an occasional deer hair. These, of course, you would want to remove, although eating an occasional deer hair is not going to hurt anybody, I don't think, once it's cooked. Okay, so we get started. Except for that small spot, the rest of the meat, it looks good. Here's our shoulder down to the bare minimum, I think. And what have we done thus far? For those of you who do not know me, I've been publishing outdoor materials for more than 50 years. And these are some of my soft-cover books. Now, backyard deer hunting, extreme muzzleloading, crossbow hunting, and practical bow fishing all contain recipes. And you can get these any day from Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and other sources worldwide. And we're going to take this and clean it up a little further and put it in another pan for ground meat use. And these are going to get boiled for soup and stock. We're making some progress. This is the cut meat bowl, and we're accumulating there. This is the bloodshot meat for dogs. And what we have here is the large muscle of the hip, or the ham, in the case of deer, is usually called. Now, this was the most damaged leg. So consequently, I only salvaged this large muscle, which seemed to be the cleanest. Now this end, it looks pretty good actually. This can go in the freezer just like it is after it's been wrapped. Now, aesthetically pleasing. We've taken the dog meat, And we've gone ahead and put some oil in the frying pan and fried it up. So these are doggy treats, and they'll probably make tonight's meal for them. On more safety tips, when you pick up that deer, you might well be excited and pay attention to traffic. You don't want to cause an accident or be involved in an accident whilst you're pulling out there in the road. So be sure and pay attention to what you're doing when you bring that deer home. Concerning knives, when you work with knives and deer or anything else in the kitchen, keep your knives away from you. That is, place them forward when you put them down. Don't put them back here, because if they fall off the table, guess what? These things are sharp. They will penetrate several inches into a leg. They will very nearly pierce a foot, even through an ordinary shoe, a boot. So pay attention to what your knives are doing. Always put them forward or to the side. Points away from you and everybody else. Don't have them hanging out on the side of the table. All right. And now you're looking at a handsome piece of meat. This was the offside so far as the vehicle strike was concerned. So you can see the muscle masses here that are very well separated. So this can go in wrapped meat, meaning that, yeah, rather than grind it, I'll wrap it. I see an occasional hair on here. There's one. The key in all meat cutting is to follow the muscles. You can see there's some blood here, right here. So yeah, that we'll need to take out. Got a broken bone here, I believe. Well, even so, it came out pretty good. Yeah. We have that deer leg processed, and so what we got is some roast here, a large one here, obviously cut meat for deer stews or hamburger or sausage, and I think I will make sausage out of this little bit. We have our doggy bones over here that are going into the stock pot. And we have our doggy treats here, which we will fry up momentarily. How much edible meat did that deer yield? Well, dog meat over here, we got 2.5 pounds. For ground meat, here, we had 5 pounds. In small roast, which are here, which by the way is going to go into cube steaks for the most part. We had 4.25 pounds. And in the large roast in this stack here, we had 5.5 pounds. So all processed, we recovered 16.25 pounds of meat. Now, if I were to go down and buy meat, beef in particular, right now it's 11 bucks a pound. So the roast would be more expensive than the ground beef and so on and so on and so on. Let's say it's all 11 bucks a pound. And what we wound up with is a value of $178.75, say, for processing your own deer. And using a roadkill, which was basically free. So, if you are thinking about doing this, all right, look at my videos. We can show you how. It's entirely possible to do it. There are some states, however, where it is illegal to do it. Texas being one that comes to mind. There may be others. So check your local regulations about picking up a deer and how it has to be reported. In Georgia, we have no means of reporting a deer. We're supposed to register deer during archery, muzzleloading, and regular rifle season and special hunts. But there is no place on the form for recording, taking, and utilizing a roadkill deer. There should be. So what do? You don't want to be running around with a deer that you haven't legally done something with during deer season. If you get stopped by any game warden or a state patrolman, where did you get that deer? Have you reported it? You're supposed to, or you move it. Well, all right, I reported it. Okay, now what? There's no place for it. This is archery season, so we reported this as an archery killed deer. That is not correct, but that was the only option on the form that was left to me. Because muzzleloading season doesn't start for some days now. And regular rifle season is still several weeks away. So, you do what you do to feed your family. For those who do this every day, I'm sorry for the long-winded stuff, but this is for those people who are really up against it right now, who need some meat to put on the family's dinner table. And I feel like some of you are out there right now. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.